right, welcome out to another episode of Drake's Dungeon. I am Drake. Joining us this week is somebody who I've wanted to have on the show for a while, who's been on the team for some time now. He's a pretty big deal around here. He is one of our designers, and he'll definitely get into more details about exactly what he does here. But joining us this episode is Fidget. Welcome, Fidget.
Hey, hello.
Now, Fidget, you're one of our designers, and before we really kind of get into the bulk of the interview, we had a bunch of units come out this month that were some pretty big deal. Like, the community had a lot of fun with these. We had Storm Chaser, we had the Bludgeon, and we had the Shredder come out. All mercenary units, which we haven't had a new mercenary unit in years. And we came out with these, and these have all been a lot of fun units. You've had a little bit of hand in designing these. Can you kind of give us a little bit of what was kind of behind making those new units?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, one thing that I noticed when we came onto this title is that those mercenaries have been sitting there, largely unused in your base for a long time. And I just thought there were these really great little, mechanized units. They were super cool. You drop them into battle, and sometimes they were gone before you ever saw them. So one thing that was a big desire for us was to kind of bring those back and revitalize them, add more player agency into the game by giving you more options to choose outside of just your platoon. Bringing the Bludgeon and the Shredder in was I think a bit of a no-brainer. And obviously they look like they were reacted very well in the community. So that was I feel like a big win for us. And Storm Chaser was a really cool one, man. I wanted to do something a little more interesting than just regular mercenaries. And, we were thinking something along the lines of unique units or heroic units, at least in parallel. So having Storm Chaser be this kind of really cool new mercenary champion, I think was really exciting. And I'm pretty stoked to keep that trend going.
Nice. Well, why don't we get into a little bit then about, exactly who you are and what you do here. So what is your full title?
Yeah. My full title is lead designer. So what that means is I determine the direction of the game's design, generally in collaboration with the design department. So we decide what we want to do with player units and rogue faction enemies, as well as the direction of our monthly events and sub-events like Cold Oak or Heroic Showdown. The title suggests I'm lord of this discipline, but it's very much a collaborative effort since a lot of these guys have been on this game for years, and they're all very passionate about it.
That's one of the things that I love working with you. One of the things I love about working with you, you do such a great job of listening, and not just to to the other designers and the other people on the team who have been here, but you listen to, the community suggestions. You definitely are focused, like you said, on that collaborative aspect of it. And I think it's been really great to have you on the team because of that.
Oh, great, man. That's nice to hear. Hey, I really wish my wife shared that sentiment.
That's all right. Sometimes I wish my dog felt that sentiment too. Like she looks at me sometimes just like, hey, you haven't fed me yet, just do something. Like so before you came to War Commander and before you came to even Kixeye, you have actually had a pretty long history in gaming. So what types of games have you worked on in the past?
Oh man, I have worked across quite a wide variety. I've had the pleasure of working on a lot of genres over the years. First-person shooters. I've worked on open-world action RPGs, third-person adventure games, Wii Sports minigame titles. Worked on a little touchscreen adventure puzzler, which was kind of cute and fun. Top-downs, twin-tick arcade shooters. And a whole bunch of really cool prototypes that, never really kind of got out there and saw the light of day.
Wow. So you've seen it, like just about every type of video game that's out there. I mean, you've really had your chance to get your hands kind of dirty with everything. What would you say might be a little different between a lot of those other games and real-time strategy games?
Well, I actually, when I'd done this for quite a while, I got into this in 99, and about 10 years in, I started to realize that trying to chase the games I wanted to work on was kind of the wrong direction to go. Most games, I feel like the hallmark of a good game designer is to look at really any game as kind of like a user interface. I actually don't think there's a lot of difference in them. I know players will probably be up in arms over that, but it's really about getting in the player's head and determining what's fun and what makes them tick and what's going to have them engaged and coming back for more. So I don't think there's drastic differences. I mean, I'm sure there is differences between soccer and shooters, but
well, you're coming into War Commander. It's a game that's been around for nearly a decade. When it comes to designing on a game that has been around for so long, how do you view making new content or changes for the game?
No, with great trepidation. We have a very passionate player community, and many who have been with us for over 8 years. That type of dedication and loyalty really demands the same in terms of the care we take when we're deciding what we're going to do with our monthly releases and how our new units may affect the current meta. We know we can't please everybody, but a lot of care is taken to ensure that we do our best to please as many of our players as we can, while at the same time, keeping the game fresh and interesting in any way we can.
I think that's one of the great things I think about a lot of the stuff that's coming up in the future that a lot of players don't know about, which we're going to tease a little bit of that in a bit. Since coming on the team, you've definitely taken a look at what works, what doesn't, and what things we can really improve on. And I think we're going to have a lot of great surprises for people later on down the road. And I think the mindset that you have right now is the perfect one to have. Are there any new features in the works that you can talk about?
Yeah, I mean, the upcoming event arc is something I'm pretty excited about. We're bringing back an old rogue faction that I think was well received by the player community called the Onyx. No, no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah,
no, we're going to bring back. What's that?
that's where a lot of people turned off, I'm sure.
I lost him already. Yeah. No, we're going to bring back the Ryokai, which is kind of like been a long favorite of mine. So we'll see the return of some of their really cool units and as well as some fun and interesting new additions to their ranks.
I love the design of the Ryukai units and the art that comes with them. Like, this kind of like techno samurai ish type of flavor. I think it's going to be really cool. It's been a long time since they've really had a strong role in the game, so I'm pretty excited for that.
Yeah, me too, man. We've got a really talented art department, so like everything they crank out is just it's just incredible and really inspiring.
Any other fun things?
Yeah, we're pretty happy. Like as you discussed earlier about the mercs, so we're kind of quite happy with how the community's received them. So like I said, we'll be continuing that trend with some cool new additions coming up, and as well as another mercenary champion.
So we're going to have new mercenary units, but also more mercenary champions, both coming up down the line.
That's right. Yeah.
Right on. Anything else?
Yeah, we're always kind of trying to figure out how we can improve things for our player base, and we're kind of one of the things we're looking into is how we can improve value for players in terms of how they spend their gold in the game. One of those is one of those avenues we're looking at is alleviating punishing gold repair costs. So kind of look for that, on the horizon.
And that's good to hear. The game's been around, like we've kind of mentioned before, for a long time, and I think one of the things that I hear a lot is repair times can be sometimes a little too long and things like that. And I hope the community definitely hears that we're listening and taking that into account and looking for ways to kind of help you out in the future to make things a little easier for you.
Yeah, we do. We really do listen to what they've got to say, man. I mean, especially when you've got players that have been in the game for this long. Most of them have been playing the game longer than people have been working on it. So we would be it'd be remiss if we didn't listen to their voice from time to time.
Now, is there anything else that you wanted to kind of bring up? I mean, this is your big introduction to the community. Is there anything else that you wanted to kind of let people know about you?
Man, I've worked on a wide variety of games in my career, and it's been a real pleasure to work on a title that has been going, this strong for almost an entire decade. That's usually an accolade that's reserved for games like World of Warcraft, and I really believe that we wouldn't have gotten this far if not for the dedicated and loyal players that we have. Our community is the reason we're doing this, and I really feel privileged to be a part of it.
Well, I can say as part of the team that we're really happy to have you, and now that the community is getting a chance to talk with you, I'm sure I'm going to be getting requests after this to get you on Discord so people can try to chat with you there. So we might get you on there one of these days. Definitely, I think you're going to be very welcome amongst the community. Before we sign off here, I do want to say last month we did the episode with Nixai, and we mentioned the removal of AI Box, which is kind of this middleman that works between your computer and our servers to make the battles happen. We are actually moving incredibly close to the removal of this. In fact, the removal of it is going to be next week, or actually when this goes live, this week. so so when this episode actually goes live, we're going to be at that point where we're about to remove it. So I do want to say we're going to be having a forum post going up very soon that's going to give kind of all the details about what this means, what kind of changes this means for the games, the performance improvements that this is going to do, as well as anything to look out for that might seem kind of strange or different. So definitely keep your eye on the forums over the next week for a post on that. And it's going to be pretty exciting. This is the first major step for us turning the game over to HTML5. So we had to get this done first before we can really start doing the heavy lifting on HTML5. So this is definitely some big progress. Well, Fidget, thank you so much for joining the episode and just introducing yourself and being a new member of the team. We love fresh blood here. It always brings some of the most interesting stuff to the game. Hopefully you'll be on again soon in the future to talk more about some cool stuff that we have coming up.
Yeah, right on, man. Thanks a lot for having me. This is it's been a lot of fun.
Right on. All right, well, we'll be back next month with another episode of Drake's Dungeon. Until then, thank you for playing War Commander. Bye.